Welcome to the Roy Anthony every Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all tap in.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is anybody out
Show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank
and Cynthia.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank
and Cynthia.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's where we can kick
every Tuesday.
Everything is going
every
down.
Thursday.
They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, Roy Anthony
every
Show.
Tuesday.
It's during the week, homie. The Roy
every
Anthony
Thursday.
Show. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Come on and get a
tap in
before we gotta
tap
go.
in.
What you listening to? The Roy Anthony
every
Show.
Tuesday.
Come on and kick it with us. The Roy Anthony
every
Show.
Thursday.
It's going down, homeboy. The Roy Anthony Show.
Anthony Show. What it do, what it do, what it do. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show podcast, along with my co-stars that be coming in. That's Mr. Hank Norman, Miss Cynthia Joy Towner. Both coming from different states. Everyone knows that I go from Long Beach to Kansas City, Kansas. So wait a minute, one of my co-stars is in already. We call him the co-star. And so we've been adding him to it. I'm gonna bring in Carl Loomis already. What's up, bro?
Good morning, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Yourself?
Oh, we're hanging in there, just watching this devastation #2 over there on the Florida coast.
Oh man, and we're gonna get to some of that, man. I'm gonna go through this intro right quick. You came in early. I'm not gonna leave you in the back room. This is one of the brothers. If he was a guest, he'll still be in the back. He get to come on the credits. And so, like I said, I'm Roy Anthony. This Roy Anthony Show podcast, along with my co-stars, Big Hank Norman, Miss Cynthia Joy Towner, Mr. Carl Loomis, and stuff. I'm trying to be where he's gonna be a regular. I just want to announce, and before we go any farther, next week, next Thursday, is going to be the end of the 10th season and last week of the Roy Anthony Show on the WO podcast. Starting the first or second week of November, the WO podcast, the WO Entertainment will not be existing anymore. I was just talking to our producer, and he's thinking about lining out some other things. We're just getting some stuff taken care of, but the charter is not going to be there no more. And we've been prepared. I beg your pardon? I thought you were saying. We have been prepared for the past months that we was going to be, the WO was going to be shutting down. We could have ended the 10th season about 3 or 4 weeks ago, but we decided to keep it going with the Roy Anthony Show because of so many subjects. Like Carl was just bringing up something, we're going to be talking about that today. That's why this subject today is God is real. And like I said, the credit, which the WO Entertainment platform, which was created by our military veterans, with leading the way was our head producer, Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp, along with the co-creator Goose. Then we have our social producers, Blue Phoenix, Ethan Daly. And then we always give a shout out to our good neighbors, our BFFs, our best friends, and in this, like the BB Nation, back with veterans based out of Oregon. Carl Loomis, part of that association, J Dub, and the other members. I always calling J Dub out. Then we want to give a shout out to the Long Beach All Stars, which is Long Beach, Watts, Compton, and Linwood come together, veterans, non-veterans. Everybody's not veterans. We salute our veterans and all the veterans and the non-veterans. We work together for the common purposes. Myself, I'm non-veteran due to legal situations out of my control, but I always have saluted our veterans. I've done shows and show so much love. When I see a veteran in their uniform, I tell them how much I appreciate their efforts, because you're putting your life on the line for I can have freedom. And I don't I give people where their flowers who give it what's due to them, because that's for real. But then we like to give a shout out to the WO Entertainment family itself, that's based out of different parts of the United States, other countries, our own personal family, friends, associates, and those who don't like us, like the prosecuting attorney out there in Oregon. He doesn't like Carl Loomis. We're gonna still pray for him. You feel? We hope that he sees the light. That's the problem. He might be seeing the light, but he wants to keep it under course. But that's all right. Um, how we let know that God is real, because he'll reveal himself on the time of situations like what we're going through personally. You agree, Carl?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, that part. In our comments, we've got comments coming in. Just me said, "Hey, y'all, 60 days and
Heck yeah.
explanation. That's a triumph." You know, I thought it was a triumph when he was at 22 days. You know,
Right?
he said a lot of people are pissed off at the government for their response to Helene in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm proud of the Americans pulling together and making things happen. Now, and that's something else. That he's on another subject. That's why this was going to be a universal conversation, that God is real. Carl had brought up just me about the hurricane devastation. Now, we thought the Hurricane Helene was had a problem, but
There's,
there's another one coming up from the Gulf of Mexico that they was
there's
evacuated.
there's two that are supposed to roll across right now. There's one that's hitting Tampa, Florida right now, and then there's another one that's supposed to run up through Tampa and run along the coastline of the U.S. all the way up to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. That's what they're saying.
Oh wow! Well, and I reached out to some of my people in North Carolina and in South Carolina. My brother lives in Fort Myers. My mother checks on him. Fort Myers seems to dodge a lot of those hurricanes and stuff. He won't even evacuate sometimes. But we want to pray for the families, because 200 people have died that they know of, and over 400 other people are missing. You don't know where they could be at. And then and I have to say this, and some people think that it's conspiracy theories when you talk about creating stuff. Um, I'm a civil designer, and I've worked in this field for over 30 years. And in California, they always experimented, especially when there was a drought, on creating rain clouds. A lot of people don't know that they have machines that actually create storms. Some people say, "Oh, that's God." No, you don't understand. I seen it, and when I was working for this one group, because they was trying to build rain clouds for the farmers' vegetation because of the drought, right? That they look at Kitty,
Teeter.
like,
This
"Hey,
is little
what you
Miss
doing?"
Teeter.
Hey, Miss Teeter, hey. I seen her in the background creeping like a leopard for real, right? And she got
Yeah,
like
we call her the
look
little
sometimes, huh?
we call her the little bobcat. She looks like a little bobcat.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Yeah,
She's
what gets me is that sometimes them cats will give you the wickety paps. They like, what you doing? She was
she
like,
does that
nah,
to
I'm
me.
showing love.
That's Kaylin's cat. That's hers.
Yeah, well, that's righteous.
Yeah.
Righteous. Well, I was trying to, but I'm going back to this. These are theories, people. I don't deal with theories. I deal with facts. I seen storms created in the civil department in California. How they got the idea is that they was experimenting with a lot of creating hurricanes on the Gulf shores. This is the truth. It When Senator Marjorie Green stated it, of course, with her background, they tried to make it seem like she was quoting a conspiracy theory. But in reality, um, now I can't say that hurricane was created, but I do know that storms are created supposed to bring in water to certain areas that are drought. They've been talking about doing this to far out countries that has a problem with water and how you can create rainstorms. Am
They
I
were
correct?
calling
Or
it,
you work in construction?
yeah, they were calling it seeding for clouds. Was what they called it, and it was a
Yes.
big conspiracy in the. I think in the early 80s, there was a big conspiracy that the government would do such a thing for droughted areas like that. Now, some of the conspiracies that are running off of this Helene hurricane are just absolutely insane. Like
But see, yeah. Uh-huh.
I've been listening to a lot of them, and I just don't think that. I just don't think that some of them are correct, and I think some of them are so outlandish, and
Yeah.
yeah, just
Just
crazy.
me Just me said, unfortunately, I don't think the ones that are missing, he talking about the ones when we was talking about the people 200. I don't think the ones that are missing are still alive. They just haven't found them yet. There are people buried in the silt and stuck in trees and debris. And I've heard that there's a lot of problem with alligators and stuff too.
There
And
was a
so
man that
that's
was
the
just down in
other thing.
Florida. There was a man down in Florida, um, entered his home and got his leg bit by an alley.
Mm,
I was listening
see?
to got his excuse me, his leg bit, his arm bit, and then they found him floating in the house. You know what I mean?
Wow. Wow. Eight in
Yeah.
pieces. Justin, if the government can create storms, don't you think they're tested on our enemies first? I'm not buying the weather manipulation conspiracy theory one bit, not even for $1. Well, I'm not saying. I'm just saying is that they can create it. That's why I'm getting to a point. Just me. Even in high school, I remember us creating this little cloud storm. It was like this big, and I don't even understand where the lightning piece came out. It was a little
Right.
thing of lightning. We was our teacher had us where we was adding these chemicals to make a rain cloud, and it started raining, but lightning hit and it scared all of us. Like, oh snap, you feel me? But I'm not saying that it is, but Caitlin just said, "Hey, Roy, hey, my handsome husband with the grin emoji." I thought she was showing a picture of me grinning.
that's that's my wife, my gorgeous
Hey,
friggin'
hey,
wife.
hey, Caitlin, always good to see hear from Miss Beautiful Caitlin Loomis. This is Carl Loomis' wife. You see her on the and we went through this for past 4 years. I remember when everybody was betting if y'all was gonna when y'all gonna get married. They
There
knew
was a
y'all was gonna
bet.
get married, but they was trying to bet when y'all were, you know.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
There was.
just we said we made it rain in the barracks in boot camp doesn't mean we can take a hurricane or steer it. But you know what? I don't think that they could steer it, but do think do they put certain moisture stuff in the air from one that's accumulating and then it
Yeah.
loses out of control?
There is
Because
there's a conspiracy roaming around right now that there was a D8 that was flying around the hurricane around the eye, and they supposedly dropped 185 pounds of dry ice upon on the top of the eye. So the plane
they
flew
try to
over the
kill
top
it.
of the storm.
Were
Uh,
they trying to kill it, the
I
storm,
don't
or
know if
they
they were trying to kill it or if they were trying to basically steer it, but it was dropped over the actual panhandle of Florida, is what the newest conspiracy is. Um, and they're saying that pushed the atmosphere to push the hurricane up through the states. That's the conspiracy.
well,
Now,
you know, tornadoes and hurricanes are based on the same thing where hot air and cold air hits.
yes,
And
yeah,
so for them to take dry ice, that seems like you're making one of the compounds a little bit sharp because dry ice can be in elements, but the ingredients is that it's cold.
right.
Man, just me said it was
Oh,
a
the
P3.
P3.
P3s can't drop anything. It's an early warning sub hunter. Okay,
Yeah,
and I'm with that. But why I was saying that is that some people go with the conspiracy theories because we take a lot of stuff out of what Mother Nature does itself.
right.
Um, I'm surprised that we don't go through as much devastation as if you look at the history, especially North America, before we isolated it, the different changes it would go through. Some of our cities are still finding fossils They just found some fossils down in Louisiana of a mammoth, mammoth tuck and stuff, tusk down there. So we don't really know. But the thing is that it was one of the theories that was stated is that, you know, I've been noticing that there's a lot of claims for lithium, and they were saying that that region has a lot of lithium.
Right.
That why, and I it would be really hard concept for me to believe that people or our government or any company would try to let 600 and some people get killed just so they can have a lithium field. I'm hoping that
So
they're gonna reach their house.
they've been talking about that area. Kind of glad we went here, and because I know I've been paying really close attention to it. They're talking about that area is so rich in lithium right now. That area that got devastated up in North Carolina, up there. They're talking about it now. What else they're doing is they're not allowing. There was a FEMA inspector, a senior FEMA inspector that came on a telephone interview with somebody that was out there, stating that FEMA has told the people of the dead, if you find them, don't remove them. They're taking away food, they're taking away water, they're taking away all their donations. They're basically trying to run the people out of the area. And then they're also doing this whole $750 thing. Well, there's a contract that you have to sign for that. And if you don't pay it back, they will seize your entire property. They're trying to get that area. And that's where a lot of these conspiracy theories have generated.
Yeah. Hey, put your finger right where you was just at, Carl, because you just said something. Yeah, do that. You just said something that just me said dry ice is carbon dioxide, CO2, same thing they put in fire extinguishers. Yeah. It's a compound to be able to distort a fire.
Right.
Lithium isn't really worth that much. Well, our cell phones run off of it. Those are the cell phones and little electronic gadgets and stuff that they use. A lot of them use lithium because it's a way of source of electricity can flow through it without it being disturbed as far as melting.
Right.
Jasmine, y'all see they knocked the crap out of FEMA director that went down there. See,
I heard about that.
Let me tell you something. This is just what we talk about, like what I've seen what my mother go through when she's 30, 40 years. And then when they want you to retire, they give her 1/3 of what she's made out of her life. That is pathetic. So if my house payment and stuff, and I'm paying now, I'm only getting a third, you making a crisis occur. I think that people who've been working all their life should get the same amount of money, especially when we got these greedy politicians that's borrowing from this money with no payback dates, when this can go to the American people. I'm totally in about that. I think that if you was making 4 or 5,000 a month when you was working, you should be making 4 to 5,000 a month when you stop working. That American can afford that. Second, when it's like unemployment. You work and work and you work, and this is your money. And all of a sudden, when you're not working, they want to give you a third of it, make you go through hoops just to get your first check and all this stuff. FEMA get money from government. This is for government situations. Is for like dangerous situations. We so busy. And now this is what I seen because I was raised in the evenings, but not last night. And just me said, and the $750 check is a loan. If you default on that loan, they can take your property. That's what Carl was just saying. So I said, put a finger on that. Welcome to the VA. But you know what? And this is when we let a group of people who has not went through we went through to be over the situation.
Yep.
This is the problem that I keep saying for the American people. See, let me give an example. A preacher can't preach to me how bad drugs is or drinking is, whatever. Now, just me can, if he feel like he had a drinking problem, and tell me because he's sober because he's been drinking before. If you ain't been through it, how can you tell me what's not good for me or what I should get away from?
Right.
See, too many times it seems like FEMA is supposed to be for emergencies in America.
Right.
I don't understand why we didn't have a surplus set just for Americans. Ukraine, we can't help you with this amount of millions. China, we can't help you with this. We got to keep some amount for our American people. How you gonna give American people $750, but we don't know how they allocated the billions of dollars that they gave to Ukraine for what? For their citizens? I heard that Canada don't have to pay medical or rent. What's up with this? And they doing this good. Canada's country is just as big as our country. I don't know about the population, but I'm seeing like they ain't coming. I don't see them flocking down here like Drake.
Yeah.
I don't see them coming down here and stuff. He said I had a drug problem too, laugh out loud. But the thing is, you can talk to somebody because you've been through it.
Yeah.
I can't. How do I supposed to listen to somebody about my unemployment if they've never been unemployed?
Right.
But they're over the unemployment agency.
Right.
This person who's over FEMA, when have you had a problem where you had to depend on an emergency check, bro?
Yeah.
You telling somebody whose whole livelihood, oh, well, be patient, help is on the way. What you mean be patient? Oh, you seen that the storm. You should have had money prepared when you seen that the storm was coming.
They should have allocated a bunch of money out of FEMA at that point, because then they would have had the opportunity to, like, I haven't even heard of the Red Cross going out there yet. Like, that's how bad this is. I haven't heard of the
Figure
Red
out all
Cross
the
or
money we give at the Red Cross Salvation Army. Where they at?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where's
Like
Salvation Army at?
nobody has
You
said any of
dressing
that.
like Santa Claus all over the U.S.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of there's a YouTube influencer that I watch. His name's Cletus McFarland. He's down in Florida, and he actually took his personal helicopter and his wife, and they went down to over there in one of the airports in North Carolina, and they started patching out stuff. They started flying people around. There was a baby and a woman that was lost. They found her and they flew her back into medical so that she could get medical attention. Why is it up to us to pull together when we have these emergency relief things like the Red Cross, like FEMA? Why is it we're the only ones, us Americans are the only ones that are doing anything? Where's all these government agencies that we're freaking relying on? Like, that's the part that ticks me off the most. Is like, we have all of these things set in place for this reason, and we can't even use them.
What, man, look what Just Me said. He said, my parents got flooded. FEMA showed up and gave them a check for $94. My
Jeez.
dad was like, that won't even pay for a shop vac to suck out the water. See, look. See, this. And then we got to understand. Don't we know understand that some of these people, they don't report directly to the president. The president got a whole bunch of other stuff. FEMA has directors and they allocate out checks.
Right.
My problem is, why do you, okay, the whole US and other countries know that this storm is coming towards there, and it's saying, they talk about how it may be disastrous, this and that. Now, guess what, FEMA? Why wasn't, if the American people is prepared, why aren't you prepared? Now, to my understanding, this is what got me. It was some beer, now I'm gonna be honest with you, because I'm talking like as if I'm just an American. I'm not talking as if I'm a Black American. I'm talking as I'm just an American, Carl. I can't understand why it's always bureaucracy where there's $8.5 billion in FEMA, but they said that it was for other problems, that the problems was was without using all the money that was there.
Right.
Sir, I understand why you haven't used money. You're talking about you got to go through all the paperwork. Let me explain something to you. If there's money there, people help. If you're giving out $95, $94 to a people in their house, you don't know what this chair meant to somebody in their family. You don't know how much I worked to get this couch. I got photo albums, sir. I got memorabilia from my family, my great grandparents, and all this. This stuff is in the water, sir. You're telling me $94? Have you lost your mind?
Yeah.
What salary are you living off of? Just me said, why is FEMA confiscating stuff from community centers?
They're doing, from what I understand, they're doing it because they want to. People have come together and banded together as Americans to help everybody. They've banded together, and they don't want us to band together. They want to make it hard for us to continue in that area because of that rich lithium area. That's their plan.
But see, let me tell you something. That's why I want this first half hour to go over what we're seeing. We're in agreement of this. This is an outcry. Starlet said, hi, everybody. Hey, Starlet. Beautiful
Good
lady.
morning.
Look here. Every time I look up over stuff like this, and I have to be real, Carl, anybody who's watching this, me as being a Black American knows that FEMA is not ran by a Black director. Now, does it make a difference? Let me explain something to you. I've been saying these government sanctions need to be ran by people who've been through the same situation than somebody who feel like they know how to be a manager and stuff like this. How you don't know how the American people, me, this is me. If I'm over it, I've been through disaster situations. I'd be like, okay, sir, how much was you making and stuff? What's your job and stuff? And what is this really going to cost to get your stuff back to get? You feel me? Now I'm gonna idolize it because he could say, well, $1 million. Come on now. You're not even living in a $1 million neighborhood. You feel me? I know stuff can be personal, but sir, we ain't about personal emotionals. Let's get you right so you don't catch infartigo from all this flooded water with these ticks and animals. We got to get control of these alligators and stuff like that. How many devastations now? Y'all said something, and I'm gonna get back to it. I listen to everything what everyone say. How many of these devastations do we have to go through for American people to really be united? We unite. When 9/11, it's the only time I really felt that I was a American. We weren't Black, white, Asian. You done came over here and threw flames into our buildings. I wouldn't care if it was a conspiracy theory or whoever did it. I didn't like what they did. All those people died. I never said, well, it was more white people that died. Oh, it was more black people that died. It was Jews. Yeah. Man, we was talking about Americans died. When I'm seeing people jump out of buildings 40 feet in the air,
it's like
I felt America was back.
It's like I say.
You know what I didn't like, America? As soon as we was attacked by foreigners, you turned around and you held the American people as responsible for it. You good people. Look, I'm coming in here and I got to be checked. So TSA, oh, well, when I talk, I don't look like I'm from Afghanistan or something. I don't like. Do you love America? And I ask this about any of these politicians. I don't want to hear I'm not an American because I don't believe in your politics, dude. I believe in that people in America, if you're an American citizen and your house is torn up by a natural disaster, we supposed to be getting insurance. You got money. We work too hard every day, and we paying taxes. We paying taxes. We paying taxes. We file taxes. Found out we got to pay more taxes. Then we turn around, we're in a situation, and you bring me $94.
I'm sorry, but I'd have slapped the heck out of him at $94. Watching all of
And
my
then you,
memorabilia floating in the water that's going to be destroyed. You know, what if there's a rocking chair that's a heirloom? You know, I mean, yeah, I would
yeah,
be devastated, and I'd look at that check and be like, $94, really?
yeah.
You know, it's
Starter
like the
said, yeah, this is true. It's unbelievable. Right in our faces. That's me said mountain people don't work like that. They don't understand that. Miss Cynthia Young said, I learned years ago that the Red Cross is more interested in paying humongous salaries to their executive. Please research how their money is allocated. I stopped donating to them years ago and instead allocate to individual organizations. Same with our local Christian mission. Miss Cynthia Young, thank you for that. We totally agree. I totally agree with that.
Mhm.
Let me explain something. We represent the American people on this show. Everyone knows I have never swayed nobody to vote Democrat, Republican. I showed I have voted. It showed that I voted from 2016. Remember, I showed that a couple
Yeah, yeah.
of weeks ago. I'm
Mhm.
non-affiliated. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I'm not a Republican. I'm for humanity. Now, in this world, we say in God we trust. We trust organizations, and it's the little things. I was in Kansas City, Missouri, and they was have a problem where the donations for the homeless people was used by the people, like this lady just said, to pay for the executive salaries, and the dude took their whole staff on a cruise. Forget
Yeah.
about this human American laying in a blanket in the cold by your building while you're on a cruise. Now look here, global warming and stuff is no joke. I've been here. I mean, I've been in Kansas City. I'm about to get ready to go back. It's been 90 something degrees in Kansas City. So then I say, well, when it was January the 4th and it was 40 degrees, guess what I saw? I saw the Chief Stadium packed with people regardless of the weather. You know the first thing I said, Carl? These people got houses. Ain't a homeless person gonna go in the 4 degrees, -4 degrees weather to watch a sport.
Nope.
You would tolerate for 2 or 3 hours because you're gonna run home and say, "Woo, it was cold out there." We got people who's actually living in this weather. But no, and like this lady said, we give money. This is why the name of the show today is God is real. It's just that these affairs do not believe in God. You can't tell me that they can't. I wouldn't care if they preaching at the Southern Baptist Coalition every Sunday. Dude, there's no way you're a Christian. You give hardworking American people $94 when they're going through a disaster, sir. We're, and then us American people, we so quick memory. Oh, we come together on a disaster. Soon as that disaster's over with, we back to call it. What you think may be causing a calamity?
Right.
You wait till we have a calamity to come together. Why don't we come together first and try to avoid calamities? And when a calamity comes, we like this. Because guess what? Divided to fall. You can't wait till a calamity comes and then you come together. The devastation and the destruction is already there. Okay, just me. He's been in the military for 12 years. They prepare for calamity. Because if they separate and they're 10 to 50 yards over this way and this dude's 50, well, guess what? When the enemy comes, he hits one of them out. The other ones is uninformed, dispatched, and everything. So they got to stay in the same compound. So if somebody do shoot, they able to get back at them.
Mm-hmm.
They get an active shooter. They say, well, bullets hitting everywhere. Somebody got to get straight at it. Oh, okay, I feel seeing fire coming from that way. So he's shooting from up this way. So now we got to take cover. Now you got to concentrate on getting to that center point to catch the cat. Am I correct? Why
Yep.
are we not like that, United States?
I don't know.
Why are we
I couldn't
not
tell you.
unified? We listen to these politicians. Let me be honest with you. I'm not Republican. Man, Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, has never had a poor day. We just agreed. How can I get someone to help me unless they've been through the same things I've been through?
Right.
He said grocery prices going up during the pandemic. That's when chicken wings started becoming outrageous. Sir, you don't know what it costs to go to the grocery store and buy no chicken wings. Vice President Kamala, you don't know what goes to the store get some chicken wings. We listen to these people. How many times I keep telling American people, the Senate needs to be made of general population people and let the lawyers be the ones who write up the paperwork.
Right.
We come with delegation. Each state have 4 people from each state. 4 times 50 is 200, right? We have 200 delegates to 4 people from states. Let the state vote for them 4 people. We come in there and general public, not the lawyers, not those who talk real slick and everything, and we play like we understand what they're saying. A lot of this politics we don't know. I found out most of the United States citizens, we don't know 60% of what's going on in the government.
And they keep it that way for a reason, so that we don't. They keep all that stuff divided so that we are divided. I guarantee it.
Imitation chicken meat is that what they're referring to, Starlet? Look here. How can we as American people, okay, we saying the same thing. Okay, I read this Constitution. They told me when I was a kid, they used to keep how to keep secrets from a black person was to put it in a book. So it made me, I guess that was their motivation, make me read. So I've been reading since I was a kid. When I was in 3rd grade, I taught myself chess because I read through encyclopedias all the time. I was constantly reading encyclopedias. And what gets me, we have been the most victorious of wars when we work together. It amazed me when I read stories about the Red Wings and stuff, that some people in high authorities, it was that the racism wants to put this pilot on here, but then everybody want the Red Wings, because guess what? The Red Wings were Americans. We, the people, in the United States Constitution states to me, and it states though, and they constantly bring through the Constitution this. I got the Constitution to carry my weapon out. You bring all this and that and this and that, but yet we fight about Republican and Democrats when the Constitution, it states right there, if this government fails us, we the people have the right to abolish it and start anew. What's wrong with us saying, you know what? We voting and not have none of y'all, and we start new, and we want general public people in the. We can't do it by rushing the Capitol. That's barbaric. What was you going to get out of that? A lot of free citizens ready to kill you if you thought you did take control. That's the only thing was going to happen. This democracy tries to get where we all try to be in accordance with each other. If we let a group of people storm the Capitol and think that, what if they would succeed? Do they actually think that we was going to follow suit under them? Well, me and my married man is probably going to take them out, because why can't we be it?
Yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy behind that as well. A lot of conspiracy behind that.
And they can't put it on no Democrats because they was trying to keep my man in.
Yeah.
They was ready to kill people. What amazed me is Mike Pence. Mike Pence said, I feel so sorry for Mike Pence. The whole Republican Party seemed like they want to kill Mike Pence.
Yeah.
How do you come back? How do you come and speak at the Republican National Convention when most of the party went to see?
You just don't do it. That's that a nutshell.
Hey,
Yeah.
I never tell somebody, hey, I feel you, right? Hey
Mm.
man, I could never say that to Mike Pence. Hey man, I feel you.
Yeah.
Cause you go around back around the same people. I think that's when he should have flipped being a Democrat. You said, hey, President Donald Trump did. He was a Democrat all through the times. A lot of people don't even understand that he was supporting Jesse Jackson time.
Yeah.
Oh, but let the megas know that, boy. You know, the veterans were the first to storm the Capitol, and then the blacks stormed it later. Just me. And then the blacks stormed it later. Whatever it was, I'm just saying is, um, to me, it was like the start of a civil war because me as American people, I was looking at them, but I was trying to figure out if they was to accomplish what they were succeeding, did they think that I was going to go along with it? You just took over something that done beat my people over the backs for years about democracy. Now you're going to tell me you can just take over it like that? It was not going to be a pretty situation.
No.
And I believe you, just me. He ain't never lied about nothing. I love the stuff he said. He said, look it up. Yes. It was veterans, it was some police officers and all that. And I just want to know what did they think that was going to happen? Because the way our group was looking at it, that if they was to take over that, it wasn't going to be pretty. Because other people who done lost family members and stuff of obtaining democracy was not going to just let a group of people just take over like that and say they speak for the United States. That's some selfish stuff for real. That and that's why I'm asking. I'm making a statement to all those who's looking and listening. God, if God tells you something, Carl, He tells it to you.
Mhm.
But you know what confirmation is? It's when somebody else comes and tells you something and you knew that in your heart. That's called confirmation.
Right.
Now, if Carl, somebody like I come up to you and said, Carl, God told me to tell you this. You better find me a lie. Do you feel me?
Hmm.
Because you don't know what the world, and God is not an author of confusion, everybody. He's not going to confuse Carl, and I'm coming in with this because of my power, my popularity, how much money I got. Hey, Carl, God told me to tell you how about the hey, but the
Yeah.
and then your friends and family said, why didn't you listen to Roy? He was speaking to God. And you left in the dark. God don't operate like that. Every single one of us hear that voice, that soothingness, that say, hey, it's going to get better. Hey, don't do it like that. Hey, and then I come around you and say, hey, Carl, God was just telling me just stay in, be patient, bro. It's coming. You're gonna say, man, I accept that because you feel in your heart is real.
Yep.
He said, just me said veterans did it after World War One, I think, and the blacks did it during the civil rights movement. Well, I do know, and we're gonna talk on that. They did do the Occupy. They was gonna do an Occupy, which lay on the termites. This is when it got out of hand before J. Edgar Hoover jumped in, because after that situation, that's when it was a havoc to the Black Panther Party. But we can go deep on that. But you're right, bro. But they didn't storm the Capitol. They was going to lay their lives down on the tarmacs and let their American planes to land on them at the Capitol. Nobody was talking about kill Pence. And
They weren't very happy. Let's just put it that way.
I don't know. All my life, I got in trouble before in school be saying, yeah, if I was you, I'd have kicked his butt if he did that. To another cat who's fighting another
Right.
cat, right? That's called
Yeah.
fight. Man, if he would have knocked that stick off my shoulder, I would have hit him right in his face. Next thing you know, somebody's putting a stick on his shoulder. I said, "Boy, if you knock that stick off, if you not, isn't that the same thing what former President Donald Trump he did? Kurt Erskine, he like, you know what? Because I seen it. He text Mike Pence again and said, "Hey, I need you to do this." And Mike Pence said, "Man, I can't do that, man.
Now,
It's the American people." He told
now
them, you know what?
the
That's what
one
he
thing,
said.
the
Hey,
one
man,
thing
I
that
heard the car just popped in. Oh, go ahead, Carl.
the one thing that they're not saying though is that they tried to indict former President Trump on that riot, and they're trying to. Oh, what's up, Hank?
What's up, Carl?
How you
Big Hank,
doing?
what's up with you, bro?
I'm good, man. What's up, Roy? Good to
Man,
see
you looking
y'all.
like a true superstar. Got it going on. The God
Yeah,
in you, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. It ain't me. It ain't nobody but God. Just came back from our Bible study, man. We had to do it on. We had to change it till Tuesday, and
Oh, okay.
in a
Oh
but
man,
it's not
please,
gonna
y'all, if
it's
you
not
want to
gonna
know the
air
word.
till not gonna air till Wednesday. So it air on Wednesdays though. Still at 12
Okay.
o'clock. Yeah.
And
What's the subject?
man, I appreciate that. God is
What's the
real.
subject? What's the subject y'all on right
God is
now?
real.
Man, God is
Well,
real. That's
well,
what
we
it is.
that's the subject. Because we
Yes,
was talking
sir.
about what's going on with the FEMA directors, these people that's over all this money, and then they try to, some of our people blame it on the presidency, but these people be over like FEMA. Man, FEMA had the nerves that just me, families, his father and mother's house get flooded, and FEMA comes and gives him a $94 check. He told his dad, said, "I can't even buy a shop vac to suck the water out."
What?
and they're
Just here
offering.
recently, they gave the people down here, and I'm saying to myself, okay, we was agreeing that every time there's a disaster, people come together, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But when there's no disaster, now we all knew that this Hurricane Helena was headed to the shores, and they kept talking about it's going to be devastating, lock up your doors. Why wasn't FEMA prepared? Then come down there. Look here, Big Hank. 200 people already
Yeah.
found dead, 400 and some missing. We all believe that they probably dead. That's 600 and some people. FEMA bringing people a $750 check.
One the general deal is it could be, and the fee. I'll send you the video after we're done here, but it's a senior female
It's long.
director.
It's a loan.
Yeah,
It's a
they're
loan that
saying,
if you don't pay the
yeah,
750 back, you can lose the whole house. See, this person don't have God. See, let me tell you, God in me, I'm the FEMA director. If I'm the FEMA director and God's in my life, there is no way. Look here, Big Hank, what's so bad is that FEMA got $8.8 billion stored up. And guess why they talk? Well, we can't use that yet because that money is left over from monies that we had for another catastrophe, and it's just sits there, right? Everybody who runs these directorships have never been in the predicament as the people that they supposed to be directing the money to.
Right. Right.
See, when we have I told them the last time I felt that United States was united was 9/11.
I don't think so much
Planes were
9/11.
going
I think
down.
I
What
think
you
it was
say,
more
Carl?
like I think it was more like 9/12, the day after. It didn't matter if you were Asian. It didn't matter if you were Latino. It didn't matter if you were black, white, green, yellow. You couldn't keep an American flag on the shelf. There were people running around singing Lee Greenwood's "God Bless the USA." There were people that were banding together. I think more or less 9/12, after we had realized that we could see what was going on. That was the day that I
Well, it's
remember.
on the actual date, but I was just saying is the actual
Yeah, it's like
the name of the subject is 9/11,
right,
right?
right.
And when Carl said, "Let me ask you something," if Nancy Pelosi took the help Trump offered before J6 with the National Guard, do you think they would have gotten into the Capitol building? I think that's, to me, I think that when the security is used to having 10 or 15 people, I don't think when you got 100 and some people, because I thought, always said that was the legions, that was the legions, the demons groups that said, don't let us die, let us go into the pigs and stuff. I think that they wasn't prepared for the amount of people that rushed the Capitol and stuff. They was gonna get in regardless. I just thank God that I wasn't the security, because you come through that window, I'm shooting you.
Well, and the thing about
I
that
gotta
whole thing
protect
too, the
you.
thing
You
about that
know,
whole thing too is I was watching that. I was watching when they stormed the Capitol, and I said there's a lot of conspiracies that wrap around that it wasn't the guy that was standing in the center with the horns with the American flag, that he was actually part of the BLM movement at that point in time, and basically framed the people that were storming the Capitol. And Trump even said in a video, he said, go forth and protest, but do it peacefully. That's what he
but
said.
my thing is, if that's the case, that, well, no, he stated, he said, he didn't say go peacefully. Carl, he
No,
said we
no,
going up there to
that's
take
not the
America
words
back.
he said.
He did not say that. He said,
But
hey, we going
but
up
still,
there.
there's no way they knew how many people was gonna come. They didn't know. There's no way they could have figured that out. They didn't know
Yeah.
that shit.
They
Exactly.
No
didn't
way.
know none of it.
I found out there was some people who was there, but they never got even on the yard. They said they was thousands of people watching these people go up there.
Yeah.
And they would show cameras. I would have people who was actually sending me going live on their own Facebook pages, showing it themselves, and they were standing there watching them. He said Ashley Babbitt did nothing wrong and was murdered by a trigger happy cop. Now you can't say that, bro. Breaking in, period. Them senators are in there. They gave them a pass when they let them come into the rotunda. Now you trying to get into, and I don't think they was just, she was the first one trying to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, if I'm trying to get in your house, and me, Big Hank, and Carl's trying to get in your house, just me, and you shoot up and it happens, it mean they can't hold you accountable because he shot Roy. He shot Roy. Well, Roy was trying to get in his house, but they ain't gonna go, because when I keep saying God is real, the word of God tells us man will believe lies before they believe the truth. The truth is smacking people right in the face, and they still don't want to believe it. They had a dude, Big Hank, from Mega. And you know what he said? He said, he said, Donald Trump could have shot somebody right there on the Capitol steps and I'll follow him. Somebody asked him, what if that was your wife and kids? You must be insane. Where's
Mm-hmm.
God in this? What kind of God is this supposed to be representing? I'm confused, because the God I know is real. When I say God is real, that God is a spirit, and they that worship him in spirit and in truth. And no, I'm not holy. I'm that nasty, filthy rag, bro, hanging on the line for the past 2 weeks. Stink like a mug. You feel me? But I'm on the line by
That's all of it.
the grace of
That's all of
God. And if I can understand that, somebody ain't trying to go after the same God. I'm not pointing my fingers. They said, just me said they arrested the chairman of the Proud Boys at the airport. Tell me they didn't know. Oh, yeah. It's not their house, it's our house. Yeah, but some of these people try to make it just their house, and they didn't invite us neither. Let's keep it 100. That's just stupidity. Look, if a person can, so let me ask this: do all those people who rushed the Capitol, did they speak for any of you? They didn't speak for me.
They didn't speak for me.
Nope.
They took it as our house. When you say our house, we should have came together and talked about how we're going to do this, like I'm saying now. See, find every man a lie and God the truth. God is real. Why did these people lose their lives down here? Something God is not happy with. That's how I have to look at it.
That's how my mother-in-law has looked at it over the last course of the couple of weeks. And my father-in-law has said
He said, man, don't support it.
he said the same thing, basically, is that he thinks that there's something over there God didn't agree with that had happened for a long time, and he had an opportunity. So
Look,
to restart.
God reigns on the just as well as the unjust. But when there's so much, look here. I've seen in the Bible where man went in the lion's den, and they didn't even feed the lions for 3 or 4 days, and the lions didn't open up their mouth. I've seen a lion go into into a camp just to kill one guy. Did you see that elephant that went to go kill that? Was after that lady and went to her funeral, snatched her out the casket and everything. The elephant tracked 100 miles because this and remembered her smell and everything. She was focused. See, I'm like that with God. Look, I was an evil person by the ways I am, and after I seen the light, I was evil. I was wicked. I'm everything what exemplified what a true sinner is supposed to be. Fornicated on the drop of a dime. And guess what? When things happen to me, you know what they told me? That just comes with the game of it. When I got shot, that just comes with the territory and stuff, right? So it didn't make me want to change my ways. When I got shot, didn't make me change my ways. It's one day, I don't know if y'all, but one day I got tired of myself. Wasn't nothing going bad. Wasn't nothing, I've been shot again or nothing. I woke up one day and I was mad and crying at myself because I was tired of myself. I started realizing every time I hung with the devil, I got left low. Every time I run with the devil, or I'm in jail somewhere, all my money's gone, or I'm hungry. And I said, I got to change because I'm foolish. I'm insane. Insanity is when you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Different results, yeah.
Hearing God in my heart. I was just telling Big Hank, when you have something God's telling you and somebody else comes and tells you that God said, then that's confirmation. But if somebody comes in, you talking about, God told me to tell you this, and you ain't heard that, that's a lie. Wasn't nobody around me. But I was tired of myself. All of a sudden, I turned on the TV and there was a preacher on there, and he was talking about forgiveness. If you got to forgive, for God to forgive you, it's an equation. You forgive, God forgives you, and you can ask God for anything. My prayer, I said, Lord, I'm tired of going through the same thing. Can you move me forward? He said, well, let's start backwards. Got on my knees. I started asking, I want to forgive everything that I haven't forgave, from the doctor who slapped my butt cheeks all the way up to this present day. When I got up, I felt like I was light on my feet. I felt like I could dunk. I had the height of Big Hank, and I could dunk like a mother, reverse dunk. That's how light I was. And I said to myself, I do not want that feeling again. I was on the road that was packed with a lot of people. We didn't care. And then the transition of getting into the road where a few goes by, I felt myself comfortable. God is real. It hurt my feelings when I seen when all these people die. Because God and me got trouble. We are linked in together, y'all, through the lifespan of God. It's just that we let the demons separate us, and it messes up the cords. Soon as we get away from the demons and recognize that we got grace through God, he'll work it all out. This FEMA director don't got God in his life. How can you go to somebody's house and see they done lost all their livelihood and give them a $750 check, knowing you got $8.8 billion? President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, I think you should intervene and think that this is a disgrace. All the money we done gave over to Ukraine. You need to step in and tell them, hey, give these people more money. Forget scratching 6 numbers on a card. Give these people the lottery money. Governor DeSantis, with all that evilness you've been speaking, you bringing a lot of this onto your state. You and your cohorts, you want to eliminate people. You want to show hatred and all that. Well, guess what? You bring in hatred situations to it. I ain't heard nothing from you. I heard people blaming President Biden. Where you at, DeSantis? You talk dangerously like you had a plan. You ever heard somebody talking stuff to somebody like, I kick their butt, and I see them, I kick their butt? Well, when the person comes, it's nothing but space and opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Wasted air.
Wasted air. See, God is real to me. He done made me bold. Because guess what? I'm comfortable now because if I die, at least I got some type of hope. That's what hope is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not living to have the best genes and the most money. I use my gift and get talents. And the Lord say, Roy, it's time for y'all to have this. Big Hank was the closest one being a millionaire on this stage. And he's more humbler than any person I've met. I mean, I've seen people who ain't been in your position, Big Hank, and just as uppity and big-headed and prideful.
No.
Big Hank can look down on all of us, and we couldn't say nothing.
No, I wouldn't. I would never look down. I even when I was having it, I never looked down on nobody. I can't do that, man, because God made me just like He made you. I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like you do. Shit.
Right.
But see, that's the God in you, Big Hank, because you know other people who is like that. That's why he had other plans for Big Hank. You influence more people now than you did playing football, bro. Because the word of God says when one person turns away from their sinful ways and takes in God, the whole heavens is supplied. Just rejoice. I'd rather have the heavens rejoicing at me than a stadium.
Yes, sir.
And you doing that all the time. You've helped me.
Yes, sir.
You've helped numerous other cats. I was just telling my mother, I said, you know what, y'all, I've been trying to build me my mansion in heaven, and now what I've been doing is getting the perks that's inside the double door refrigerator. You feel me? I want to go to where not just my mansion. I don't want an empty mansion. You know, whatever the Lord suffices up there with me. And He said that let's make man in our own image. So sometimes I want to sit in the warm water and chill with the bubbles. That's a jacuzzi. They might have one that, you know, if the rose is made out of gold, I'm pretty sure everything else is going to be all right.
Yes, sir. Trust me on that.
No more problems. No more worries. No more prosecuting attorneys, Carl. You feel me?
No more sickness. No more division.
That's right.
Why isn't that nothing to look forward to? I was foolish because the flesh wanted to have a good time here.
I say the gates. You say the road is made in gold, and the gates on each side they made with pearls. Them gates on each gate, pearls. The gates, pearls.
That's what I'm saying. Come on, man. That's why God's real. I'm coming back on this. I announced Big Hank that next Thursday is our last show of the 10th season and the last show with the WO Entertainment. They're breaking down. A lot of people been asking us what we want to go do and stuff. I said let us talk about it, but next week. But in the meantime, I'm gonna let the whole world know that God, the spiritual God is real. Some people say they give trophies and awards and they say God, you know, they want to say God, but they're not saying the God because some people call these demons gods. Some people say, you know, for real, I felt bad. I want to add that I felt so bad for P. Diddy's mother. But, you know, she made, you know, but then I looked at some of her pictures of late and I was like, ma'am, you saying what you need to say. I understand. Because I sure wouldn't want my mother coming in there with a dress where her half her boobs is showing from the dress, and they hanging and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, we can do better. You feel me? And stuff.
Yeah.
I thank God for God, y'all. I really do. I truly thank God for being God, because there's nothing He can't do. The thing is that these situations that are occurring is because man is dependent on man. Nobody gave us an air to breathe. They can't put no shelter. As much as I love y'all, I can't put shelter over your head. I'm not there yet. I can't pay your bills. I definitely can't make your organs work or your lungs work. I don't have that capacity. If you was lacking blood, I would want to give you blood, but you may not be my blood type. You know, God, if He ain't real, we might as well all give up. There is no future. If there is no God, I don't care if you young or old. Don't let young people entice you. You have been on this world for a reason to be at this age, because you got experience. If they don't like what you got to say, do like Jesus told the disciples: knock the dust off your feet and keep it moving. Don't throw your pearls to the swines.
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
Keep it. Yes, sir.
Before we end off, big bro, what's the last words you got to say, man?
Man, you said it. You've been saying it the whole show. God is real. Jesus is real, and you better you need to get your life together right now, and don't wait till tomorrow, because it might be too late. And accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. If not, I don't know what no way I can help you. I can't help you, man. Because you living without no hope. And I'm living with hope, man. My hope is that I get to live up in heaven with Jesus for the next million years. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna be at. I don't know where y'all gonna be at, but for the next million, I'm gonna be up there in heaven, doing what they do up there.
Carl, what you got, bro?
You know, I say it all the time, you know, be good to yourself, and remember that there is God upstairs. He's up there. He's listening, he's watching, he's carrying you in your hard times. He's and if you don't have him in your life, like Hank said, get him in your life. Get him, accept him as your savior. He, you know,
that part.
And be you know, I pray for these people over there in Florida and Tennessee, and you know, pray for this next one that it's not as devastating. And you know, like I also say too, to you veterans, it's the fall season. Get out of your head, get in the woods, like J-Dub says.
Yeah.
And you know, there's always someone to lend an ear to that will listen to you. We would rather spend 2 hours listening to your stories than 30 minutes at your eulogies. So reach out.
How about that? How about that? Yes, sir. How about that?
Yeah. Kind of falling similar. Rather be judged by 12 and carried by 6. I'd rather talk to you for 2 hours than to be listen to a eulogy for 30 minutes. Good show today, boys, for real. Go get some ticks on your ball bag. I mean, go outside, go out there in the woods, go hunting and shit.
I'll have to send you some pictures of some of the. If we have a friend of ours that lives over here in town, I've made real good friends with him. We ended up going up on top of God's country. We went up about 5,800 feet, and we got some pictures. We took our Jeeps up there, and we just had a blast. So I'll have to send you those pictures.
Good stuff.
Hey, look here. I accept everything, but look, I want anybody who's watching. You heard these brothers. These are responsible men. We're American citizens. And so society has to tell us we black, we white, we Latino, but when God looks at us, he looks at a soul. He don't look at this outside cleaning. He's looking at your heart and stuff.
Your heart.
Look, if you go ahead, big guy.
No, so you right. I see you look at your heart.
Your heart. Look here, everybody. I don't care what you're going through. You're looking at 3 men has been through a lot of stuff. And guess what? God has never let us down. We're right here to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
We're right here to tell you. Big Hank, you said it. It just, when you said that, man, it just hit me with feelings. Mm-hmm. Don't take advantage of the day like you got it like that.
Right.
You can wait till tomorrow. Think you're gonna wait till tomorrow.
Tomorrow ain't promised.
And your whole life changed. It ain't promised. And I tell you, it's closer to you than your own mouth. You just stop right where you are. Jesus, forgive me of my sins. Can you come in my life? I don't care if you G'd up. I don't care if you got tattoos on your face, on your, you got piercings and everything. He ain't worried about that. He ain't worried about if you dress like a hoe, if you dress like this or that. Men wearing bikini. He will work with you.
Yes, sir.
And he'll work with you. Listening. Go ahead, Carl. What'd you say?
He'll work with you and he'll work on you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just in you. Just give it to him.
Yes, sir.
And he'll work in you.
Just give it to him. I beg you. I don't care if somebody is scripture. You hear God. And this is a confirmation to anybody who's listening. I need to change up my ways. Before I go, this scripture has been stuck in me 2 weeks. It kept pounding my head. Then I hear somebody seen it on Facebook. Big Hank had on Facebook. I shared it on my page. My people who are called by my name will seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. Then will I hear from heaven, forgive them of their sins, and heal their land. Do you hear that? He is not a liar. No. He will heal your land, but you need your sins forgiven first, because you can die and your land is healed. But then what's that mean? But anyway, we'll see y'all Thursday. Love you, brothers.
Love you.
Have a blessed Thursday, man. I'm gonna talk.
Good to see you, Carl.
Welcome to the Roy Anthony and Friends.
Oh, go ahead. What'd you say, Big Hank? Oh, he said good to see you, Carl. I try to bring it back. God bless y'all, man. Love you, bro.
Love you.
Welcome to the Roy Anthony and Friends show.
Every Tuesday and every Thursday.
Y'all tap in. Is this thing on?